Hello, everyone, and good morning to our BSBI Faculty of Creative Industries webinar today. We are presenting a bit today a bit more on our brand new Hamburg campus. And just to introduce myself, some of you might know me already. So my name is Liz Fernando. I'm Head of Academic Operation in Arts at BSBI. And today is joining me Johann Christian Hocke, who is Head of Interactive at Select World Hamburg. Just to give you a bit of a background, Select World is one of the leading agencies in digital transformation within Europe, within Germany as well. And we are very pleased that Johann has kind of take some time off to join us here today, because we're kind of talking a bit more on actually the idea of why BSBI is now situating the new campus in Hamburg, and he will give us a bit of an insight today, because he's for more than 20 years kind of located in Hamburg, and will give us a bit of an insight, and we are thanking him dearly to join us today. I'm moving on to our kind of presentation on and the background in arts and education. As you all know, and we have been talking about it, is that BSBI kind of stands for enterprise leadership and success, and how we are kind of combining these kind of topics into our creative education. And that's why we're talking today about the importance of the Hamburg industry. Why we are kind of locating in Hamburg is we are partnering up with one of the top specialist creative universities from UK, and that is the UCA, University for the Creative Arts. The university is the highest placed specialist creative university in the Guardian's 21 league table, and it's actually within the top 3 ranked in the complete university guide. And it's not just a simple fact. When you just look up about the graduates of UCA, you find an amazing list of graduates. They're offering one of the oldest animation programs that we have within Europe. Actually, 40 years ago, UCA started to work with animation programs in a professional and educational way. And that's why BSBI is very proud to deliver the UCA story of success for the first time within the European Union. And you can see here we have the creators of Peppa Pig here, which is Mark Baker, Martin Hamford, creator of Where's Wally. We have Grant Oycher, the creators of BBC's Hey Dougie. And we have boys amongst alumni, Gareth Edwards, who's the director of Star Wars. And so this is just showing you a bit of what kind of education actually awaits you here in Hamburg. And we have now, as I showed you and discussed, the advantage of having amazing programs that we are going to offer you, that is going to open up to creative minds possibilities to kind of join these very prestigious list of alumni. I mean, we give you the framework. What you do out of it is then definitely a different question. And we do this within the backdrop of Hamburg. Hamburg is one of the most, let's say, eligible cities within the European Union where the creative industry is kind of located. And that is why we are offering these 3 respective programs here in Hamburg, which is BA Animation, BA Illustration, and BA Graphic Design. And we do this including International Foundation Art, Design and Media. So that means that is kind of included in your studies. That would mean you would go on the international route for 4 years study and kind of prepare for your higher degree, and kind of enjoy the time between, let's say, your high school graduation and then moving into higher education, to really prepare your mind. We had another webinar on it, talking about it, if you want to check it out, what it actually means to prepare yourself for a career in the creative industries, which should not be underestimated. Moving on, I'm just showing you the campus, what we have here. The campus is just a short distance from the Hamburg city center, which you can also see here. Hamburg is the city of rivers. Some call it the Venice of the North. It's very beautiful. It's just like you can see we're here with the campus, and yeah, actually the main areas here to go out, and you can see the Hamburg city center. So it's just like a drop away from the city center. Public transport is in reach. It's just like a 5-minute walk, and we are just next to yeah, companies like Adidas or Microsoft on the same kind of area there. And what you see is a very unique studio ambience and a very yeah, exciting creative environment, I would like to call it, because you can just see the way the windows are done. So we have lots of daylight within our studios. We have everything set there for you to kind of really get inspired and expand your ideas. BSBI in Hamburg is something new. I mean, you know that BSBI is Berlin School of Business Innovation, and now that we're expanding to Hamburg has one particular reason. And the reason our guest speaker today, Jörn, will explain us a bit better, because he's actually a specialist. He's from Hamburg. He's in the industry for, as I said, more than 20 years. And he will definitely kind of give you a bit more insight. What's the history of Hamburg kind of being as successful as it is within the creative? And yeah, just to for the ones of you who join us from like far corners of the other end of the world or from the other corners of the world, he will just like explain you a bit more on the beautiful Hamburg city location. And I'm just kind of handing over to Jörn. And welcome once again, Jörn. Very pleased that you had time to join us here today. And yeah, so that's what I'm kind of just handing over.
Yeah, thanks, Liz, for handing over. Yeah, hello, everyone. I just want to talk briefly about the history of Hamburg's creative industry and why it still is a very interesting and valuable city in this sector. As for today, around 1.2 million people are employed in the creative industry in Hamburg, and 1/3 of them is employed around the games industry and software development, and so in the digital sector of it. And Hamburg is, as Liz already said, like situated in the heart of the creative industries in Europe, and it's really a prosperous and thriving city and benefits from the positive economy in Germany, which is ever growing and doesn't seem to stop. Yeah, you can really feel that in Hamburg. But let's take a look why that is. So Hamburg is geographically like located almost in the center of Europe, and has been a very important city for trade for hundreds of years, because we have access to the Baltic Sea and also to the Nordic Sea and the Atlantic. There are connections to the UK, who has ever been a huge player worldwide, and so Hamburg has always been like this distribution center worldwide, and companies have come here forever to be here and have the headquarters here. So, as said, Hamburg is an Hanseatic city and is considered a gateway to the world. And that's why a lot of newspaper publishers settled down, and they use the distribution for commodities and goods, also to distribute the newspapers all through Germany, through Europe, through the world. So Hamburg became a hub for that newspaper and book industry as well. And because they were located in Hamburg, a lot of their suppliers, like photographers, illustrators, printing companies, and of course, advertising agencies, also began to settle down in Hamburg and work together with the publishers. and also use the infrastructure the publishers used. Of course, in the last years, especially, there have been a lot of changes. Print media got a bit less important, and digital media came to power, so to say. And many publishers shrank or moved away from Hamburg, but there are still a lot of them, like Gruner and Jahr, which is like one really big publisher in Germany for newspapers and so on. And the publishers, some of them may have moved, but the whole ad agencies and the suppliers still stayed, because a lot of international companies have been here together with the newspapers and these companies. Ad agencies like formed their own economy, because newspapers provided space for advertising. The companies that had a headquarters in Germany, in Hamburg, of course wanted to advertise in these newspapers, so they needed suppliers to produce the ads, and that's where everything came together like a gearbox, basically. And so this has been like an economy on its own, and it's been growing and striving for forever now. And as for today, as already mentioned, digital media have become more important. The digitization of the whole world has just skyrocketed, and so newspapers and these big international companies haven't been the only players in that sector. So a lot of software studios, small little startups, and even game studios were founded in Hamburg and stayed here. And they've created like a really flourishing startup scene here. And this is an environment, an atmosphere that is really great for people to get into the industry and to start there. And yeah, it opens a great spectrum of really future-proof opportunities from creatives, like from around the globe. A lot of people from other countries are coming to Hamburg to work here. Like in the agencies I've been working, we always had international teams really from around the globe. So it's really an international city. The typical jobs you will find here when you have graduated, you will find occupation and brand design for small businesses because of the startup scene, but also for large international companies like Liz already mentioned, Microsoft, Adidas, and even Adobe is situated in Hamburg. You might find yourself creating social media campaigns in social media agencies, but also international multi-channel campaigns, like for TV, for print, of course, for digital media or production for YouTube and so on. You might find yourself creating digital billboards, like the city lights on bus stations, or the ones you may find on Times Square and Piccadilly Circus. But also because Germany is also a trade fair country, you might design trade fair stands if you want to, and this has changed a lot as well. It's not only like analog and real life stuff, but also a lot of presentations, augmented reality, virtual reality things. Of course, you will produce promotional material, and as already mentioned, websites and web specials, maybe apps, interface design for them. And yeah, because we also have a lot of online shops here in Hamburg, you might even produce content for them. Yeah, that's basically it for the ad industry here in Hamburg, how it developed and how it is today, and what kind of jobs you may find here. And yeah, I will hand over to Liz again. Yeah, thanks for having me so far.
Thank you very much, Jan, for this beautiful little introduction into the insights of the Hamburg industry and how actually Hamburg kind of developed into what it is today from the historical kind of insight you gave us today. And what I would like to do now is for all of you to get to know Jan a bit better, who's our guest speaker today, to kind of have a few more questions for you that hopefully you can answer us in regards of what is happening on a daily basis, and what we kind of see as an abstract kind of term, what it means to work actually or be part of a thriving Hamburg industry. And for that, I'm just kind of inviting you for a little discussion, which is hopefully kind of giving you all a little bit more insights into what Jörn is actually doing on a day-to-day basis. Hi, Jörn. Very nice you joined us today.
Hi, Liz. I'm pleased to see you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much that you actually had time to join us in your busy schedule. And Jörn, what you were talking about is, so Hamburg has historical roots, and now it's more, being in the middle of the digital transformation of agency life, of advertisement life, of all what is happening right now in our daily lives. And you're actually like located in the middle of it, where you're working for Select World and head of interactive, and you're kind of following these developments from, let's say, the grassroots. Can you share a little bit more, like for how long you're in the industry and how it kind of developed over the past years?
Yeah, of course. I've been in the industry since 1998, so quite a bit. But I started as a front-end developer because at that time, creating visuals on the screen, on a computer screen, was connected to being a developer. And at that time I focused on website design or coding websites, and it was always the developer creating designs, which doesn't come naturally to every developer. And after that, I started to study computer science, and then switched to in the midst of it, switched to a then very new program, which was called Multimedia Virtual Reality Design, and finished my studies there. And during the whole time, I've been working as a freelancer for agencies and software houses. And I actually just moved 11 years ago to Hamburg, not 20 years. I've been working with agencies from Hamburg for 20 years, but I relocated in 2010. And so then got even more in touch and got more involved with the Hamburg advertising industry, and became a permanent at that point. Yeah, and since then I've been climbing up the ladder, so to say, and accompanied and somehow designed the digital transformation in a lot of agencies. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. And so as I said, I think it sounds like you have been seeing actually like way before all of us kind of realized what's going to happen in the digital kind of world. And you have a very unique background actually, like also working in both of these worlds, kind of combining, or the cross junction of design or creative thinking and digital developments, which is very interesting. And in regards of that, could you just share maybe for our students, our prospective students here, how a day in Jörn's life looks like?
how a day in my life looks like.
In your agency life.
In my agency life. Yeah, currently it's a lot of as a head of Interactive, it's a lot of meetings. So I I see my job in a scope of it is my job to enable my team to do the best they can. So it's not that I want to, that I like force them to work, but I will shield them from everything that could distract them. It's my duty to create an environment where they can strive and just create the best work they can, and where they feel good, and where they also can develop and give them perspective. Um, and yeah, I think what you might want to hear is how like people in the agency work together, how things fit in that. I can give you an example. For instance, a client wants to have a new campaign, which will be a digital campaign, of course. We will have graphics designers, illustrators, motion designers, and animators like sit together, brainstorm ideas. Often the graphics designers, art directors are in lead of that, but everyone will participate in the brainstorming and coming up with ideas. And then we'll together work on a storyboard, for example, for a TVC, like a TV commercial, or for like the main digital motion piece that will be like the heart of the campaign. And then after having this storyboard and having it produced at the end, everyone will pick their part. Like the graphics designer will be responsible for creating visuals, like for instance, if it's on Instagram, they will create the still image posts and keep that in mind, how this will work together with the motion part. The illustrators will, if it's an illustrated thing, will illustrate parts of that, give that to the graphics designer and to the animator. And the crucial thing is that these three people have to know how the others work to make it happen. So the graphics designer needs to know, how do I have to prepare a file that the animator can work with it, and how can I save them time? And if there are any client changes, how can we make it happen without going back to the drawing board again and starting all over? And so these three people really have to know the others as well, the other work. I don't have to be a perfect illustrator to know how an illustrator works, but I need to know how do they work and what are their pain points and what is their workflow. So it's all about communication and knowing each other. Like I always have to know the next one who I'm giving things to, and also have to know the one who is giving me things to, how they work, and to have a basic understanding at least of that. And my job also is to make that happen, to bring them together to talk and establish a workflow.
That's great. Thank you so much, Jörn. I mean, that's very like priceless insights of how it works. Because we talk about education, and then we just wonder, how does the transition works from me staying in the university and then coming into the agency life, and that's really like priceless, and from like kind of a background you're giving our students here. And that's exactly also what we are kind of aiming for, thinking about our new campus in Hamburg, to have it let's say more let's say real life links to the industry, so to work on cases, you know, that are actually like important for us now, and not that, you know, like we have looked at, let's say 10 years ago, and to work with the industry together and kind of get insights like that you're offering us now, and make students also understand what is the importance, and what's the important also to work interdisciplinary, you know, with your peers, and not to say like, I'm in my graphic design and I'm not even going to talk to you who are from animation, because eventually you
Exactly.
all will do. I mean,
Yeah,
eventually,
exactly.
as what you shared, as head of interactive, I mean, you as a team leader, this is what you're expecting from graduates and from alumni, actually, that they know about workflows, you know, and
Yeah,
not, let's say, yeah,
exactly. And what I I learned over the years is that if people graduate and have never been working in an agency or in a company, in a digital company, it's really hard or you need to invest a lot of time to onboard them, to bring them into the workflows. Um, as if they have been working as freelancers or students in the industry during their graduation, this will be almost a seamless transition. And also, if you graduate, for instance, as an illustrator, you don't have to be an illustrator for the rest of your life. People will develop, and maybe you will transition into a motion designer, or vice versa. A motion designer will transition to an illustrator or graphics designer in the course of his career. So it's
yeah.
always good to know, as I said, to know your peers. And yeah.
Great. And I mean, one final question I have, and as we have you on board here today, we talk about Hamburg industry and the advantages of it. I think there is no better person than ask you, what does it actually mean, or what does it mean to kind of you know, have the campus in Hamburg and I mean, get educated in such an exciting and thriving environment? What does it actually mean for our graduates from the BSBI UCA a program once they move into the Hamburg, let's say, real life industry? Does it make, is there a difference between salaries or between job opportunities when you're in Hamburg? Just like, if you can just briefly share some information on that, whatever you kind of experienced.
Yeah, well, that's a great question, actually. Like I already mentioned, it is kind of key to already have some experience in the industry while you are at university. And it's super easy in Hamburg because there are a lot of companies which are happy to employ students and to accompany them, and then to have these people, the students, if they graduate, to offer them a permanent position, which is a great transition for every student. But also in Hamburg, you can really feel the industry is ever changing, and you are like at the core of it. You are at the pulse. Um, you won't lose touch with it. Like if you are in a smaller city somewhere else, you will actually fall back or fall behind in the development. And another thing is that because the industry is ever changing, currently there are a lot of agencies, but in the future it could be that there are less agencies, but more occupation in companies. And like we have companies here, like I already mentioned, like Microsoft, Adobe, Adidas, Nivea, like huge international companies. And it's always like a fluctuation between outsourcing and insourcing creatives. It's always changing. And here in Hamburg, you will like go with the flow with that. Okay, if an agency is shrinking, you find occupation in a company. And also, you mentioned salary. In Hamburg, salaries and living conditions are quite above average because it is such a prosperous city. Things are expensive, but salaries are high as well. So it evens out, and it is just, yeah, a really thriving and prosperous city. So I love it here. I can just recommend it being here. And yeah, that's fantastic. And it's a
So
very
much.
young city. It's a very young
Yeah.
city. A lot of young people.
Yeah, it's that's true. Thank you so much. And I mean, this is like really priceless insights. And for all of you who are listening today, yeah, we are very, very thankful that you're like kind of sharing briefly what, yeah, summarizing your let's say 11 years of experience being in Hamburg, being a Hamburg enthusiast, about the creative life in Hamburg, and whoever is like still like considering, shall I move to Hamburg? I think you got plenty of reasons that Jörn has kind of counted today on, why actually, you should maybe join us at BSBI, be right at the pulse of it, as he called it. Thank you so much, Jörn. As I said, it's priceless for us to listen to you and to get like this experience, like one-to-one experience. And we hope you can join us soon again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So here we are again, back to our presentation, and it has been a wonderful experience to listen to Jörn. And I mean, summarizing it, whatever you're going to do, whatever like you're investing now in your future here, in your studies, in your education, it's your future, it's not ours. We at BSBI, we're just here to support you and to give you the right framework for it, and to give you the facilities. And what will be, let's say, unique about us, that we're situated at the pulse, as Jörn calls it, of digital transformation, and what all happens in the industry life. And we are having very industry-friendly curriculum. It's going to be like real cases. We are going to prepare you, as we said. I mean, you will be students who will not, leave our university without even knowing how to write a business plan, how to think in an entrepreneurial way, because that is also what, your employers are expecting from you. You won't be, I mean, this is past thinking, where you say like the creative is the creative and doesn't think about, how actually the business is growing with it. It's kind of interlinked now more and more. I'm kind of summarizing a little bit what Hamburg is about. You can also see the beauty of Hamburg. You'll be actually studying in a beautiful backdrop of this wonderful maritime city here. It's a very multicultural city. Jörn was also referring, it's a very young city. You have every day something going on, and it's home to many multinational companies and many leading German companies. I was just talking about it. We also do have a very special offer here for the ones who are kind of joining us in our upcoming intake, because we are launching in, let's say, less than 6 weeks ahead. We have a saver fee here, which is 50% of our high achiever scholarship scheme, which is quite an amazing opportunity. And we have a 40% discount on the occasion of our launch for international students. If you look at our fees, we are talking about a really big sum of money that you're kind of saving if you kind of decide, yeah, I really want to be part of that Hamburg scene, of the Hamburg creative scene, and I really do see opportunity here. And we kind of give you the opportunity to join us. For the Germans who are listening us, the ones who are listening from Germany today, for us, we have a 25% discount for German resident holders or anybody who lives in Germany, which is also quite an interesting sum, because already you have a bit of a discount because of the EU regulations here, and on top you're getting a 25% discount if you apply from within Germany. So do take up that chance, do not miss it. You all might know you can also inquire from our admissions team. We have the platform where you can just start your application today. It's not difficult for the ones who are joining us international. I mean, there's like the chance now, if you're vaccinated, it's possible. Fill in the application form, send the documents, then you liaise with our admissions team. And for the ones who have to get a visa prior to arrival, please contact your German embassy. Some of them are open again, it's possible. Get your visa, come to Germany, sit in Hamburg and study with us. So that is quite, let's say not a very difficult task. We're here to support your admissions teams, is amazing. They'll give you any sort of information you need to proceed. And what is left for me is just like to thank you all. I'm just switching over a little bit to give you a little summary for the German students. Hallo, und für die uns heute aus Deutschland zuhören, würde ich das Ganze auch noch mal gerne auf Deutsch zusammenfassen. Wir haben jetzt gerade ja, wie soll ich sagen, also einen richtigen Industrieexperten angehört und einen richtigen Kreativdirektor, der uns einfach ein bisschen was über den Background erzählt hat, was in Hamburg eigentlich ja, an der Kreativszene los ist. Ich würde einfach gerne noch mal zusammenfassend auf Deutsch euch erklären, welches Gesamtpaket wir hier eigentlich anzubieten haben. Also BSBI steht eigentlich für unternehmerisches Denken, Zukunftsdenken und auch Erfolg. Und das heißt ja nicht, dass wenn wir Kreative sind, eigentlich im Grunde genommen das für uns nicht gilt. Das gilt für uns Kreative genauso, denn man kann jetzt einfach nicht mehr sagen, der Kreative denkt nicht mehr unternehmerisch oder der Unternehmer denkt nicht mehr kreativ. Diese beiden Punkte wachsen eigentlich zusammen und genau dort setzt BSBI eigentlich an mit den Programmen, die wir sozusagen aus England übernehmen. Es ist, glaube ich, vielen bekannt, dass England für Design und Kunst wirklich ein unfassbares Portfolio uns eigentlich anbietet. Und der Vorteil, den wir jetzt haben, wir müssen nicht mehr nach England ziehen. Ihr wisst ja leider auch über den Brexit, da gibt es ja auch mehrere Einschränkungen. Und daher haben wir eigentlich von der BSBI gedacht, ja, also wenn uns das Ganze dann doch, sage ich mal, schwerer gemacht wird, dann bieten wir das Ganze doch einfach auch in Hamburg an, weil den Abschluss werdet ihr genauso bekommen, wie als ob ihr jetzt in England studieren würdet. Und wir haben dazu einfach noch die Möglichkeit, dass ihr weiterhin vielleicht in eurer Heimat oder in der Nähe von Hamburg wohnt oder vielleicht auch uns aus Süddeutschland heute zuhört. Und es ist einfach so, dass wir ja, diese Programme anbieten. Also die UCA ist wirklich eine der Top-Kreativuniversitäten innerhalb von Großbritannien und ich würde auch sagen innerhalb von Europa. Das hat unter anderem damit zu tun, dass die UCA seit über 40 Jahren einer der bekanntesten Animationsstudiengänge anbietet. Und das ist ein sehr gewachsener Studiengang und den bieten wir jetzt eben auch in Hamburg an mit der Möglichkeit, dass ihr eigentlich gar nicht irgendwo, sage ich mal, euch ja in einem anderen Land oder wie auch immer ansiedeln müsst. Ihr könnt also in Deutschland bleiben. Ihr könnt, wenn ihr in Hamburg wohnt, müsstet ihr eigentlich gar nicht umziehen. Wir bieten euch das 1:1 Studienprogramm an, was die UCA auch in Großbritannien anbietet. Ihr seht das hier. Sie sind unter den Top 3 Kreativuniversitäten innerhalb von Englands und das soll wirklich was heißen. Wir bieten euch unter anderem, hatte ich ja gesagt, Animationsstudiengänge an. Ihr seht das hier, ihr habt das gesehen. Also wir haben hier wirklich Top-Alumni und ich glaube, alle von euch kennen diese, sage ich mal, Filme oder diese, ja, wie soll ich auch sagen, diesen kreativen Output, der eigentlich von der UCA geliefert wird. Und genau das bieten wir euch eben an mit dem Studiengang BA Animation, BA Illustration oder BA Grafikdesign. Also dieses Honors müsst ihr auch immer so verstehen, was da steht. Dieses Honors, das ist kein einfacher BA, sondern es ist ein BA mit Auszeichnung. Also den bieten wir euch an. Ich hatte euch das ja schon mal erklärt. Also das ist im Grunde genommen auch so, dass ihr uns sozusagen, also zu uns kommen könnt, wenn ihr euch noch nicht ganz so sicher fühlt und sagt, ich würde gerne ein Portfolio herstellen und möchte das aber eigentlich ein bisschen mit Begleitung machen und ich möchte das in einem Rahmen machen, wo ich wirklich dann auch, wo mir dann zugesichert wird, dass ich auch einen Studienplatz bekomme und das ist eben der Fall, wenn ihr uns sozusagen in unserem International Foundation Art Design and Media, also wenn ihr dort sozusagen zu uns kommt, 4 Jahre bei uns studiert und dieses Jahr also inklusive ist, und ihr dann sozusagen eure Mappe in diesem einen Jahr bei uns herstellt und dann euch ein Studienplatz garantiert ist für einen dieser respektiven Studiengänge hier. Oder ihr sagt, ich habe schon so ein gutes Portfolio und ich bin da schon so sicher, dass das gut wird, dass ihr sagt, nein, ich weiß auch schon, was ich machen möchte. Ich möchte Illustrator werden und dann bewerbt ihr euch mit eurem Portfolio bei uns für einen direkten Studienzugang. Das Portfolio wird gecheckt und da wird dann einfach gesagt, ja, also das passt oder das passt nicht. Ich kann einfach zusammenfassend auch noch mal sagen, was ich zusammenfassend noch sagen möchte, ist, diese 2 Dinge hier, Wir haben wirklich, also zum Anlass unseres Launches in Hamburg, unfassbare Discounts für unsere Studiengebühren. Also ihr seht das hier, wenn ihr uns aus Deutschland zuhört, das sind 25% Discount. Das sind, wenn ihr das aufrechnet, ihr seht das, mehr als 2000 Euro, die ihr dort sparen würdet. Also ich würde das wirklich nicht vernachlässigen und wirklich, egal was ihr habt, bewerbt euch. Es ist, also kreativ sein heißt nicht, dass man ein fertiges Produkt haben muss. Kreativ sein heißt, wir würden einfach gerne sehen, wie denkt ihr kreativ. Und wir sehen uns hoffentlich bald in Hamburg.